A ver, habla. Give me my check.
1 2 1 2 test.
Ok, prevenido.
Dale.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the ETO Podcast. Joined today, as always, by El Super Mojado.
What's up, Joe?
What's up? I just want to welcome those of you guys watching us right now. And for those of you guys that were expecting Mr. Ricardo Celis, se las vamos a deber otra vez. Super, ¿qué pasó con Ricardo?
No sé, güey, corrió, yo creo.
Lo asustaste, canijo.
I think so, man.
No, actually,
es que no le compraste los tacos, güey. You have to tell him, listen, we got tacos, carnitas, de todo, güey.
Se las debemos. No, but you know what? We're going to do whatever we can because we need to talk to Ricardo about his book, man. You know, that's one of the reasons why we want to get him on the show. And actually, for those of you guys that are not familiar, this is his book right there. Se llama Pisando Serpientes. And it's been getting a lot of really solid reviews. So, again, Ricardo, if you're hearing us, if you're listening to us, aquí está, just para que no digas que we're not promoting your book, dude. No, but honestly, we really want to talk to Ricardo. Ricardo's a pioneer, one of the ¿cómo se dice? Mexican sports pioneers here of this country. And now turned author, so you know we really want to know how it was that he came about this project. Super, it seems like a really cool book, and we just want to get to know more about it, right?
For sure, man. It's always good when you know his Mexican author comes out. You know, maybe who knows? Maybe he could be the next ¿cómo se llama el Aragorri de you know, in los Oscars ahí.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's
gonna become a movie, you know. I'm gonna wait for the movie. Maybe he needs
No seas flojo. Read, brother, read.
No. I already have his book on order. I'm just saying I'm gonna wait for the movie to see if he needs an actor to portray his book.
Dale, pues. Then I wonder who you're gonna be. But then again, if you haven't read it, you're gonna have to read it to find out who you're gonna play.
All right.
All right. So, Super Mojado, let's talk a little bit about you know, this second round of Liga MX. There's a lot of what do you call them? Las Aguilas. Out there, they're excited, dude. Las Aguilas del America.
No seas gandalla.
Las Aguilas del America, super líderes right now as of today or yesterday. You know what? You gotta give credit where credit is due, man. They're playing really solid. To their credit, and that's all you can do, man. Just give them the credit that they deserve, right?
I have to call you out here, man, because you were saying that there was so much pressure for Las Aguilas, and they were gonna have like a tough closing of the tournament, and they were not gonna like you know, if they lost one or two games at the beginning, they were out, and Piojo was done, and they were gonna fire him. So. I told you, man, this is how it is. Now he won 2 consecutive games. So now Piojo is like now once again one of the best coaches in La Liga. And America, it's what pressure? What pressure? There's no pressure there now.
The pressure.
Mira, he está navegando ahí smooth. Yeah, but congratulations to all Americanistas out there that they're probably happy and rubbing it on their faces.
So, hold on, dude. Let me ask you a question. Are you surprised one bit at all?
No.
No? So you knew
America,
they were
I think America is a great team, and I think you can never underestimate America. And especially having a coach like Piojo too. It's just he nos tiene acostumbrados, stuff like this. Yeah, there's gonna be tough times. Not every team is gonna have perfection all the time.
Okay.
But he has shown us time and time again that he can just, if he falls in a hole, he jumps right out. He doesn't get stuck like many other coaches, and then no, he managed to overcome everything.
Okay, saludos al Twin, y que dice, arriba la América, of course. Americanistas just coming out of the woodwork. That's what's expected. But you're right. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm happy. I'm happy for them, but it doesn't mean that I like America. It doesn't mean that I'm rooting for them. There's a bigger topic right now. Hold on.
Ya sabemos que tú eres un americanista de closet, Joe. We all know that. You have a yellow shirt underneath that ETO polo.
It's gray, canijo. No, don't lie. Don't be lying. No, but look, like at the end of the day, I've told you this before, right? When it comes to playing against Chivas, I'm always going to be a Chivas fan before anything else, regardless, right? But when America plays, like, for example, at Libertadores or in international tournaments, when they're playing against other teams, trust me, I'll be the first one to root for them. Not because they're America, but because they're a Mexican team. And don't tell me that you don't root for America when they're playing in Libertadores or other tournaments.
Well, I have no option. My father is a hardcore America fan.
You do have an option. You do have an option.
No, because, he tends to, saca el rifle luego. Entonces, I can't really...
No, dude.
Yeah. No. I think that it's all good. I think that, like I said, I'm one to admit if they're playing good. Hey, okay. Good job, good for them. I'm not gonna, I'm not a hater. If I'm happy, if they're doing good. If my team is doing bad, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of ¿cómo se dice?
A lot of what?
La carrilla from la banda, But hey, I can take it. But it's now when cuando está del otro lado, I want to tell all the Americanistas that they gotta know how to handle it, because sometimes they're not really the ones that can handle the return.
Okay, that's fair. Carrilla. No, that's fair. Son bien llevados y no se aguantan. A lot of them, that's for sure. And then they start using words like, oh yeah, what do they call it? Ese torneo que no cuenta, or whatever, right? Anytime they lose, siempre hay una excusa.
Torneo molero, eh?
Yeah. Partidos moleros, etc. But look, like I said, at the end of the day, more power to them, So again, there's a much bigger topic that I want to discuss about America and all the teams that ended up winning this round. Actually, that's coming up in just a couple of seconds. Pero el equipo de nuestros amores, Super. Look at the team of the jersey you have behind you signed. They are struggling, dude. They are just in a position where I'm just embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, dude, to be a fan of Chivas. I'm like, holy smokes, right? So,
well,
how concerned are you?
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not concerned.
Okay. Why?
I didn't like the team. I'm sorry, the game that they play against Santos, but it's week 2. Tennant, many people don't like Tennant, but I think he's doing a decent job so far. Last tournament he had them in 5th place when they canceled the tournament. The previous tournament they were so close to qualifying to the next to the Liguilla. And let's remember that was the tournament when he took the team and he took it like halfway into the season. And he had 5 great games towards the end, and he was really close. Then, like I said, this past tournament, he had him in 5th place. He had him in Liguilla spots. This one, there's a lot of concerns. There's a lot of players out, and I know that he even said it yesterday after in the La Conferencia that it doesn't matter. They cannot put their guard down, even though they have players. It doesn't matter. This team should always be very competitive with the people that they have.
Right.
So, like I said, it's week 2. Yeah, they had a horrible game.
Horrendous.
Yes. It was like they didn't even show up. They should have just called and say, listen, give them that 3-0. We're not showing up.
Right.
But again, I think that you need más ofensiva. They have not enough players. I don't care what they say. They don't have enough players. They need Vega. They need Fernando Beltran, because those 2 guys, I think they can make a difference. Okay. And now Chicote, a lot of people lo estaban halagando a Chicote, that he ran back and forth, and he took a couple of shots. But I think he can do more. Yeah. I think that I believe it was the second goal when the guy, he was supposed to be, estaba marcando ese way, and he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Well,
it's just one of the faults of Chicote.
I don't know
that he's not a defensive player. He's more of offensive.
Right.
Ponce and the other is the opposite. He's more of a defensive player.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who was did you say halagando, like meaning they were praising him?
Halagando, like they were saying that, Chicote, he did a great game. He was running back and forth.
Yeah.
I saw that and read and heard a couple of things about that. But like I said, I personally think that he can do a lot more.
Yeah.
And, le está debiendo todavía al equipo.
Oh, big time. And you're right. Chicote would run forward, but then he wouldn't be back in time, and that's one of the reasons why Chivas.
Yes.
Like, I don't even know what the amount was at the end of the day when it came to shot attempts, but the truth of the matter is that defensively they just look lost. They look like a team. They look like, you know what they look like? They look like one of those cascarita teams, dude, where everybody wants to go forward y nadie regresa.
Yeah.
Where everybody's kind of like running all over the place. That's what they look like to me.
I mean, shockingly, some of the stats son un espejismo of what the game really is, what we really saw, because they have the stats that they had 19 shots by Santos and 14 by Chivas. I didn't see
shots. Where?
I saw probably
shots
2.
To the moon.
Exactly. No. and they say that Santos had 6 shots on target and 5. Chivas had 5.
All you gotta do is
I did not see that.
All you gotta do is watch the highlights, man. That's all you gotta do, so you can see.
Yes.
That.
And let's talk about the possession. The possession, they have 60% on Chivas, and maybe that was when they had the red card. And that's another thing. They had 20 minutes of with a guy up. Santos had that red card at minute 67.
Right, the
dude,
defender Felix.
It's unbelievable. I just think, and it could have been worse for them, because it could have been easily 5-0.
Easily. Yeah. Well, there was that goal, that questionable goal that they took away, that foul that they called on Chicote. I don't think that.
I think it was a foul.
Oh my God! But that was such a weak foul, though.
If
it wasn't for El VAR, that stands as a goal 99% of the times. I don't think referees are calling that play. That's my point. Santos just looked completely dominant over Chivas, and there's just no excuses. There's no excuses. And now, obviously, the rumors are that, the hammer's going to be coming down on Luis Fernando Tennant. And it's funny because we saw this earlier today around social media that the guy that you're a big fan of, El Rey Midas, is potentially being rumored as a savior. What do you think about that?
I think it's all rumors. I think that's not gonna happen. I don't think that's how Peláez it's gonna I don't think Peláez would do this, and especially week 2. I mean, like I said, we have to give the Tena the benefit of the doubt, because he was out for that first week. He was sick for a while, with this illness, COVID. and he's just coming back. I don't think he was in the practice for the full week, and now he's obviously trying to recover with his health, and I think that he can do a lot better than this. I don't think this portrays what he has done in the past 2 tournaments. I think that he can do a better job, and but he's gonna have criticism, and that's one of the things that you were mentioning in the past, that there's a lot of pressure in teams like this.
Yeah,
and
but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. So how is it possible that America has, is just coasting, right? Do they just have better players, and that's just the bottom line,
they
or better
have
coaches?
A better team. I just think they have a better team, and I mean, we don't have a horrible team. That's why I think that they can do a lot better. But once Tennant has a full team, then I can judge him, and we'll see. I think he can definitely make Liguilla, though.
Yeah. Okay. It's the season's still relatively young, so I think that those of us who are worried we're probably worried because we saw just such a horrendous game yesterday. Again, I keep on using that word because it was bad. It was beyond bad.
It was, and don't forget too that last tournament, Siboldi, he was going through the same thing. Week 2, everybody wanted to throw him out, and they were putting him with the Lions, and it was like, no, you gotta wait.
No,
let him do his job. I think that they shouldn't fire him at all in this tournament, even if they don't.
Wow.
Qualify.
I mean, you start off with like 5-6 games in a row without doing much.
But
I mean, there's nothing that can save you. Nothing can save you.
Give him a full season. I don't think he hasn't had a full season, Joe.
Right.
No, last one it got canceled. And he came in the previous one. Yeah. Only I think he played 8 games. I think.
Right.
So I think we gotta just cool down, let him do his job, let a few more games go by, and then we can see where he's at.
Right. Okay. Like I said, it's the pressure, the type of pressure that Chivas brings, because of who they are, right? So, speaking of which, Super. So, all right, these are the teams that ended up winning on this first weekend, right? So we have Bravos won. They won 1-0. I was kind of surprised about that. America obviously won. They ended up beating. Who did they beat? 4-0. I know the score, and I watched the game. Cholos, thank you.
Cholos.
Then Toluca beat San Luis 3-2. And who was the other team? There was another team that ended up.
Tigres Pachuca, that tied 1-1.
No, it was Santos, of course. Duh. How could I forget? So it's Santos. So all right. So those 4 teams won, right? So what I want to do is I want to show everybody a quick illustration of the starting lineups of those teams, right? So this we're gonna put this up on the screen right now, and you guys are gonna be able to see this right here. All right. So if we take a look at the starting 11, right? We have America, Santos, Bravos, and Toluca. Out of all those teams right now that everybody's watching on the screen, all right, every single one of those teams has 5 foreign players or had 5 foreign players in their starting lineup. Toluca ended up having 6 of them. They were the only one that had 6, but all the other teams, even Bravos, I was actually thinking when I was doing this, I was looking at Bravos and their lineup, and I was like, oh, they probably have a couple of other, more Mexican than the others, but no. Every single one of these teams in their starting lineup, 5 extranjeros. So my question to you, Super, is where the heck are all the Mexicans? And what's happening?
Bien, gracias. No, this is a league that, I mean, we have, and I'm surprised that it's only that they actually have the amount of Mexicans that they have there, because we have seen times where they only have 1 or 2 Mexicans on the field, on the starting 11. So it's just what's going on in what has always been happening in Liga MX, is that los extranjeros have just taken over. And why? Because el dinero, güey. El dinero. They go, they can get an extranjero for way cheaper than they can get a Mexican player.
So I think
Yeah, and the talent too. For the talent, if you compare, let's say that you have me for 5 pesos, but then you have
That's too much. You're asking way too much, dude.
no, but you have somebody with the same age but a lot more talent, for 3 pesos. Who do you think they're gonna get?
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's
And if the rules allow you to have this amount of players on your starting 11, of course the teams are gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants la copa.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
if you can get
let's go back to the graphic, dude, because again, it's crazy. To me it's just shocking, they look like the United South American nations, all these teams. Argentinians, Paraguayos, Ecuadorianos. And again, nothing against these players because I know they're extremely talented, right? They're the La Liga MX. La Liga, hold on. La Liga MX is similar to what the EPL is, except that the EPL does it on a global scale, right? But I mean, again, if you look at this picture, and you're a Mexican soccer player, you start to think and wonder and ponder, like, man, am I ever gonna get a shot, right? And that's where when we think about things that are happening like La Liga de Balompié, that's when it gets a little bit interesting, right? Because you start thinking, okay, is that gonna give me an opportunity, or is that also gonna be another one of those leagues that they're gonna have all the washout, South American players and other players join that league as well?
I think regardless, I mean, there's gonna be opportunities there too. I mean, at least you're gonna have options, And because I think that they're gonna have extranjeros, they're gonna have more, rules. It's not gonna be, you won't be able to have as many, I believe. But yeah, no le van a cerrar las puertas a nadie. So, but once again, they're gonna have options and more opportunities to play.
Right. No, that's fair.
But of course, everybody wants to play in the La Liga MX. Anyone would rather play in America, Cruz Azul, Tigres, Chivas, than playing in La Liga de Balompié.
No, yeah, that's obviously there's different reasons why, right? The visibility, the fact that there's probably going to be more money as well, among other things, right? So it makes sense why people would want to play there. But my concern is just that, when you have, and I don't know if there's a rule. I've been hearing that there's going to be some like drastic changes in the rule, But again, every time I see this, I can't stop but think about, how one, it impacts Chivas, and two, it impacts the Mexican national team, right? So in the immediate scale of impacting Chivas, we know that a lot of these teams, there's a lot of great Mexican players, right? However, a lot of these teams, they overprice them and overvalue them, and that's the only way that Chivas is able to, because they're doing they're doing a really bad job with their canteras. They used to be one of those teams that used to be bringing up players left and right from the youth systems, but now it seems as though they're falling behind in that department. So the problem is that I think it just impacts them so much because now you start overvaluing these players, right? Because they know that Chivas is interested in them. The moment that they hear, oh, Chivas is interested in them, a Mexican player's price goes up like 20-30%. And we all know that's true, right? So that's why this is detrimental to Chivas, because they have to deal with those, forces of the finances. And again, they're coming and getting like some of these like mediocre players, and they're paying so much money for them, So, and I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus, but there's obviously several ones that we've been talking about, and a lot of media members have been talking about, that they acquired in this past, transfer session. So, my point is, dude, it's just really, really tough for a team like Chivas to be able to compete if, all the best Mexican players are playing for other teams. And not only that, but when there is a decent Mexican player out there, when their normal value is like $5 million, now to know they want $8 to $10 million for them. You know what I mean?
And it's only gonna get worse for Chivas because now la MLS is looking south,
right?
And not just at retired players. I mean,
younger, the youngsters.
Younger players that they're bringing in here too.
Yeah, so. No, you're right. You're right. I think it's going to become extremely difficult for Chivas to to just come up on players at a decent price, or they're going to have like a really strong negotiator or somebody que le den un favor or something like that, But anyway, nos pregunta también Iván García, dice, ¿quién va a ganar hoy? Monterrey contra León. All right, so as we take a look at the last part of the second round, so we have Monterrey versus León, and we also have Pumas versus Atlas, or Atlas versus Pumas, I should say. So right now, if we look at that game, first, just to answer Ivan's question, who has the edge, Monterrey or León in that game for you, Super?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one, man. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I am going to go with the home team, León.
Okay. All right. And what about with Pumas versus, or Atlas versus Pumas? I keep on saying Pumas.
I know, Atlas. Pumas,
en el Jalisco. En el
Jalisco. I think, a tie. A tie, yeah. I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the León game. León played exceptionally well last week. Granted, it was against not so great Chivas team, but Chivas played a lot better last week. They did, right? They played a lot better.
Yes, and it was 0-0. Yeah, so.
But I think León's also going to end up taking that, and then I think Pumas is actually going to come up and end up getting the W on the road. It'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting, though.
Yeah.
So anyhow, Super.
Dímelo.
No,
I was just going to say that, Atlas, they're going to be playing at home, and, and they're hurting, too. They lost 3-1 to Tijuana last week, right. So they might want to get those points.
Yeah,
so.
They'll need them. All right. So, Super, we were talking a little bit about Chivas and players. One player from Chivas or ex-Chivas that's making headlines, or excuse me, Marco Fabian. Another rumor through the Twitter sphere, the Twitter universe, right? There's rumors everywhere. Parecemos chismosos, all the time.
Yeah,
talking about. But anyway, they're saying that he could be potentially headed to Bravos. That's the rumors that are circulating on social media right now. So let me ask you this question. How much game do you think is left in Marco Fabian de la Mora?
Oof.
You watched them recently. You watched them last year and live in person.
Yeah, last year he wasn't even started with Philadelphia, man. I think he had a rough patch and a couple of injuries. This is the thing about Marco, that I think he's had so many injuries, and let's not forget about that one on his back that he almost left him out of being playing this game, playing at all, because he had a serious injury. I think not much more left for him. I mean, if I was him, I would try my best to try to at least go back to Chivas, and since he was salió de las Chivas, and he has shown that he has interest in going back to Chivas, because that was another rumor that he could possibly go back to Chivas. I would lean more that way, and then just put an end to my career that way, retirarme en el equipo que me vio nacer. But I don't know if it's because of the money. Maybe Bravos is tempting him with money. So
well, at least that's another Mexican player in Bravos. We saw the starting lineup for them too.
Yeah, and we'll see, because I mean, Marco, maybe that rumor about Chivas, it could be just fade away, because I don't know if you've seen his social media where he's posting pictures of all these parties and la parranda que se está aventando for his birthday.
Right. Among other things, right?
And let's remember that he had issues while being in Chivas because of this same reason, Le gusta el desmadre, so I don't know.
Sounds like you and him had a good time together.
Yeah, I wish I was at his party.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see if he ends up going to Bravos, and if he just calls it quits after that. If that is the case, I feel as though he's had a solid career, solid being the key word. I think
Yeah.
that there was a lot of potential that was not exploited, but it's just the
But
nature of the
like I
beast, right?
said, the injuries,
Yeah,
injuries. That's a key part on his career. But that hurt him a lot when
right.
he had that back injury. So
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, a guy that actually made headlines because of a major injuries and now is making headlines for other reasons is Eugenio Pisuto. So Lil from France made it official. They ended up signing Pisuto to play out there. So another extranjero, another official extranjero out in Europe. So Super, did you remember that injury that Pisuto suffered?
that was in Pachuca, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the only team
That,
he's played for.
yeah. He's what, 18 years
It
old.
wasn't. It was during his debut. Remember?
Yeah. I remember the injury,
Oh,
and
it's got to be one of the
and
worst injuries I've seen.
he had gone to tryout, I believe, after the World Cup, the U17 World Cup.
Hmm.
To which team was that? It was that I believe it was Ajax, no?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
All I know
I
is
don't
that
remember, but
he was one of the best players for Mexico in the last under 17 World Cup. He was the captain, obviously, and he played exceptionally well. I think he ended up winning the silver or bronze boot, if I'm not a ball, not boot, ball.
yeah,
Uh,
something. He won
right,
something. I forgot. But
right.
anyways, I think he has a lot of potential, a lot of talent, and yeah, he we'll see how it goes with him, over there.
Yeah. Well,
I think Pachuca was not 100% with his decision. They wanted him to stay a year, another year in Pachuca, at least another year in Pachuca, and then emigrar al otro continente. But I think was he a free agent now? Did he
I know.
ended
I'm
his
not sure.
contract with Pachuca?
I'm not sure about, but it's crazy. Saludos a este Ramon Chavez, and yeah, he's pointing this out. He injured against Leon 9 minutes into the debut, and that's crazy, dude. That is crazy because he literally stepped on the pitch and like ran around a couple of times, and boom. But here's I think his situation is a little bit more complex and it's different because of that injury. I think that he probably doesn't know how teams may view that because it was a bad injury, and a lot of players probably didn't even come back from that. But he was lucky that it happened to him while he was still relatively young. Because if this happens to you at an old age, dude, forget it. You can kiss your career goodbye. But the bigger point I wanted to talk about regarding his move, and you mentioned, right, Pachuca probably didn't want him to go because he was relatively young. A lot of the younger Mexican stars that have gone over, I mean, other than who, Vela maybe, they don't really work out, man. When Vela was at Arsenal, when he made his debut, he struggled, dude. He struggled to get the playing time. He showed like signs of greatness, scored several golazos, but the thing is that he just never got that consistency. Remember that guy Ulises Davila as well? When Chelsea picked him up, everybody was excited, and it was like, great, that's cool, right? But I don't think he ever even played. I don't even think he ever like dressed up in a Chelsea uniform. You know, so those
No,
are like
because
my
those
concerns.
teams, yeah, those teams have they buy them and then they loan them to smaller teams.
Right. But that's
It's
my point.
that's
That's my point.
the
So
same
like,
thing happened to Bella. They
yeah,
Arsenal got him and then they loan him to
Salamanca.
a couple other teams. Yeah.
Yeah, they loaned him to
So
Salamanca. But and again, there's a lot of these players that just get lost in the shuffle. So I understand, but the good thing here is that Leo is not. I don't think that a lot of people consider them, uh, you know, a Lyon or Marseille, for example, right? They're probably like media tabla or like one of the like top, maybe 6, 7 teams in the French league. But it's not, again, if he was going to Lyon or Marseille or one of the other ones that have been, one of the power teams from France, or even if he were to, he was to go to a couple of other teams that, were like from a stronger league, there would be more question marks. But I think he's going to a decent team. And even then, they'll probably end up loaning him out too, right? To kind of like get him prepped up.
Yeah, but possibly. Like I said, he's young, and he just came back from that, like, the bad injury, so possibly they are gonna send him out too,
right,
on loan,
right.
But we'll see. I mean,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him. All right, Super Mojado. So, another interesting topic actually that we wanted to talk about. We want to give a big shout out to our producer, Andres Magallanes, working really hard out there in LA, putting the rundown together. So he actually came up with an interesting topic, and it was about La Volpe. I don't know how much you heard about the whole La Volpe.
Oh boy.
Here
we go again.
Let's talk about it, dude, because ese mostachón, el bigotón, again, making headlines for one reason or another, right? So he obviously came out, criticized several Mexican players. I think the last one that he criticized was, Chicharito, right? Saying that he went to Europe and did this, did that. But then instead of like coming back to Mexico, he ends up going, or staying in Europe, I should say. He ends up coming over to, the MLS because it's so much easier and he's going to make a lot of money. I don't know, man. That guy, for considering of how much Mexico has given him, se me hace like, and he's an adopted Mexican too, right?
But he
naturalized malinchista.
Don't forget that he put Mexican soccer on the top. He discovered all these players. It was him, no one else.
According to who?
According to him.
Right.
He said that he's the best coach. If it wasn't for him, all these players wouldn't have gone to Europe. And
right. So anyway, give me your reaction to the. Give me your reaction, aparte de eso, to that comment.
No, he's just out of his, he's like I said, prepotente. He thinks he knows it all, and I don't know. I don't pay attention to him. Que le vaya a platicar a la podóloga, and then.
Or maybe him and Hugo Sanchez should probably go get coffee, right?
Yeah, right.
Maybe
Hugo Sanchez. You saw Hugo Sanchez. I mean, he was. How do you say it? Like, he was proposing. He was saying Pumas should hire him for as a coach, and he doesn't charge too expensive like the rumors are. I'm like, okay, right. Man.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Hugo Sanchez is gonna love that comment.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, he responded to him that they would be crazy if they hire him.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, it sucks that there's like, again, I think of these people, right? That thanks to Mexican soccer, they made a lot of money, right? They were the ones that became well known, right? But then they still have the audacity just to like talk so much smack on these players. But then again, la misma gente lo hace, right?
Yeah, but it's
how many chicha haters out there are Mexican? Come on.
I don't get it, man. This guy is one of the he's so overrated that he's a coach that didn't win anything in Mexico. Yeah, they say, oh, he won un campeonato con Atlante. Okay, I don't know, man. He had so many teams, and you win one championship in, well, I don't know how long he coached. 40 years, 30-something years. And you can't forget it, man.
Well, he's part of the dinosaurs, the dinosaur carousel that Luis Perez and I talked about. Like the guys that like keep on getting opportunities to coach, and the guys that are literally blocking the younger coaches or the younger generation from getting these opportunities to coach. So I don't think that and it sucks, because like at the end of the day, I think. If the guy's performing well or he's doing a decent thing, because he had, to his credit, like he did a decent job with Mexico, right? He did a decent job, but when it counted, he failed just like everyone else.
you could have given me that team, and I could have done the same job. It was not him, dude. It was just he had a good, good camada de jugadores,
Well, I don't know. I mean, hey,
yeah, I mean, dude, do you really think it was because of La Volpe that they did okay?
no,
I don't think
but
so.
there's
I don't think so.
been other coaches who have like the same quality players and they don't do anything,
Exactly.
So
It's the same thing.
no, that's my point. They do have the same type of players, but the team just struggles. I think coaching does play an important role. Well, of course he didn't do anything.
Anything, man. Anything more than any other coach.
That's
Ganó la
that's my
Copa
point.
Oro. Oh my God! Wow, he's the best coach in the world. Ganó la Copa Oro. Que no
And that's why these guys end up holding on to those trophies, right? That's one of the reasons why Luis Fernando Tena is always going to be held in a pedestal, because he's the one that won the Olympic gold medal for Mexico, et cetera, et cetera. Any coach that wins anything, right?
I mean, this is a guy that he played and he coached in in other countries too, and he didn't win anything.
Right.
It's not just in Mexico. He went to other places and he just sucked. He is a failure in my opinion.
All right, that's fair. Super. Really quick, I just want to go back. Ramon said that Leo finished in fourth in France. Not bad. That's right. Fourth place is not a bad finish. But anyhow, we're damn. Parecemos pericos. We're always running out of time, dude. Any saludos a alguien?
Saludos a toda la banda, nada más. Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Ya dijiste. Well, before we wrap up, Super, I just wanted to take my time and actually just pay my respects to someone that's very special to me that passed away this past weekend, early Friday morning. My grandmother from Guadalajara died this weekend. She was 76 years old. She had respiratory failure, and she's gone, dude. But anyway, I just wanted to pay my respects.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you, man. I wanted to pay my respects to her. I know it's been extremely painful for my family, for my mom, for my mom's siblings, all my aunts, my uncle. It's really difficult and it's sad to lose someone. But it's always even tougher when you're so far away. And in this point in time, where we're dealing with so much uncertainty, it just makes us reflect, right, about how much we should value what we have, and remember why we continue to live. My grandma's no longer with us, but she enjoyed a long life, and she was a happy woman, and she was loved by many children. And she was loved by all of us who knew her because she was just a kind woman, So she's no longer with us, but again, the only thing that we can do now is just pay our respects and honor her. And, I just wanted to make sure that everybody out there knows that if you have somebody that you love and you care about, don't forget to tell them that you love them when they're alive. Don't wait until they're dead to let them know that you care for them. So, Super Mojado, thank you very much, man. And nos vemos el jueves.
All right.
All right, man. Take care of yourselves and each other. So, y a ver si viene el Ricardito, ¿no? A saludarnos. Adiós. Take care.